from the College of Mass Communications on the campus of Texas Tech University. This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Kym Helton.
And I'm Trevor Miller. One of the most popular recreational drugs, marijuana, gained medical legalization in several states. But the fight for legalization in all states has yet to be won. Katie Cass looks at the benefits of legalizing marijuana.
The debate over the legalization of marijuana has been a pressing issue for quite some time now. Advocates for the reform of laws involving the substance believe the economy would benefit from the legalization.
It's great medical use. As far as government running it wise, they can at least tax it. It can knock out a large portion of our debt.
NORML, an organization for the decriminalization of the drug, states that enforcing marijuana prohibition costs taxpayers $10 billion annually and results in the arrest of more than 800,000 individuals per year. Chris Mojdahi supports the legalization and doesn't see the point in fighting the drug war. It is something that, in his eyes, will never be won.
You know, if people are still going to do it anyway, and so you might as well get a benefit out of it.
Manager of a head shop in the Dallas area said he thinks one of the most beneficial aspects of the legalization will be the elimination of drug dealers.
In essence, you'll have it at stores. You won't need to, hustle it on the street, and it'll have an age limit. It'll be 21 or 18, whatever you choose to make it in your state. And that way, it's, control. You're not going to have to worry about kids finding it from any random person.
Approximately 30% of Americans live under decriminalization laws of some sort. According to government and academic studies, the removal of the legal restrictions has not hindered an increase in marijuana use. The legal herb industry is booming, though, and the chemicals used are getting increasingly stronger.
They're now looking at legalizing marijuana instead because it's a lot healthier, less of a risk.
Many states are looking into decriminalizing the drug when possessed in small amounts. For MCTV, this is Katie Cass.
Thanks, Katie. The economic recession is affecting many, including college graduates. Texas Tech's Career Services Center helps students searching for their first job and says this year it might be a little bit harder.
Even in the best of economic times, jobs are not just going to appear from the sky. We always have to work at it. I think when the market is tighter, it just means we have to work a little bit harder, a little bit smarter, a little bit differently.
Cross also encourages students to take advantage of internships in organizations in their career field, which can make the transition into the job market a little bit easier. Students looking for jobs can visit RaiderJobs.com for career opportunities.
Although the FDA says tanning poses serious health risks, the trend has remained popular, especially among teenagers. Haley Assiter has more on tanning beds and the proposed risks and benefits.
Indoor tanning beds have become a popular trend among young teens and adults since its invention in the 1980s. Tanning may be the only reason some people visit the salon, but Sunrise Tan manager Megan Murchison says the vitamin D from the UV rays can be healthy for the skin.
There's health benefits for tanning as opposed to just all negative, and the news really just portrays that it's all bad, but there's some good parts to it.
In past studies, tanning beds have been linked with the increase of skin cancer among young adults in their mid-20s. Dermatologist Dr. Lehman says by tanning in a tanning bed 3 times a year, it can increase someone's chance of getting skin cancer by 10.
In 1990, the incidence of the most severe skin cancer, melanoma, was about 2 in every 250 people. Today, it's 1 in 40 to 50 people.
The Food and Drug Administration Advisory Panel is considering implementing a new law that will ban those under the age of 18 from having access to tanning beds. Dr. Lehman says that if this law is passed, he still doesn't think it will lower the number of people diagnosed with skin cancer because unsafe outdoor tanning and genetic causes are still a factor.
Sun exposure is cumulative. And so the typical thing is people will say, I haven't been out in the sun all summer. Yeah, but the last 20, 30 years you have been, and just walking into a grocery store, taking a walk around the block, whatever, sun exposure is cumulative and it stores in the body and then eventually surfaces somewhere.
Megan Murchison says most Sunrise Tan clients are above the age of 18, and if this law passes, she doesn't think it will have much effect on their clientele. But they also have a My Mist, which is a spray-on tan without UV rays.
Our misting definitely gives us a whole lot of business, and we all really like it because it's less damaging on your skin and everything.
Like most things, tanning is safe in moderation, but if someone is going to tan, they need to be educated. Tanners need to know how to check for cancer, what sunscreens to use, and remember to moisturize the skin afterwards in order to prevent aging from skin dehydration. For MCTV News, I'm Haley Assiter.
Thanks, Haley. Another increasingly common trend among teenagers is a form of text messaging known as sexting. With the use of a cell phone, teenagers are sending and receiving explicit electronic messages and oftentimes sharing them with friends. Ashley Etheridge has more.
With the increasing technology of smartphones, sexting has become a popular trend. Sexting is a term described by Urban Dictionary as when sexually explicit messages and/or photos are sent mainly through mobile phones. Sophomore pre-nursing major Adanya Anya says she has received sexual text messages but ignores them.
Sexting, I think, to me, is a form of sexual harassment. But sexting is pretty inappropriate. It's something that's really popular nowadays.
Professor of Media Theories and Society at Texas Tech University, Dr. Cummins, says he believes sexting is more popular among younger generations.
The danger with that, obviously, is once you've sent that message, once you've taken that picture and sent it to somebody, then it's no longer in your hands. The person you sent it to, it's their picture, and there's no telling where it's going to go from there.
Senior personal fitness major Lauren Fossum says she doesn't engage in sexting, but doesn't judge others who participate.
I think that it's their own business. I mean, that's in between two people, and you can always stop it if you don't want that going on.
As a parent of 2 young children, Dr. Cummins is concerned on how far technology may advance.
But my fear is 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, what is technology going to look like? What's it going to be like? We can only assume it's going to be more advanced. And
Dr. Cummins says there are pros and cons of having a smartphone. He advises people to not send messages they would later regret. For MCTV, I'm Ashley Etheridge.
Thanks, Ashley. Lubbock residents now have more entertainment options on the weekend. Joel's Comedy Club debuted in Lubbock earlier this year and so far has been a hit among Lubbock residents. Samantha Hensley visits the Depot District.
When Joel Randa returned to Lubbock after working in New York for several years, he noticed something was missing: comedy. Froggy Bottom's Comedy Club was closed, and local comedians were relegated to performing at bars. In March, Randa opened Joel's Comedy Club in the Depot District. Now located at Katz Theater on 34th Street, he says he knows the comedy club will succeed.
I want Lubbock to laugh, go to a place where they could do something different than the typical holding a beer, staring at people and just, and waiting for somebody to play music so loud that you can't talk.
Actor and comedian Todd Eldridge says hosting Joel's Comedy Club at Katz Theater not only gives comedy a place in Lubbock, it helps the theater as well.
Being able to have that kind of double face of a place to where you can have the regular shows early on and then be able to turn around and do comedy shows, I think really opens up a lot of avenues both for Joel and for Katz Theater.
About 15 people came to see the club's first night at Katz Theater, which seats about 50.
Usually a bigger crowd is better, and a smaller crowd is really specific, so you have to reach their individual sense of humor, which is a difficult task sometimes.
However, Thone says he wasn't concerned about his first performance at Joel's Comedy Club. More than half of the night's audience was there to support Thone, one of whom was Texas Tech student Brooke Bellamy. She says although the setup of the stage and theater is different than other comedy clubs she's been to, she was excited to see her friend perform.
I'm really excited for the show. I think it's time that Lubbock had a comedy club.
Joel's Comedy Club does not charge a cover fee, but a 1-drink minimum or a $5 BYOB charge is required. Visit joelscomedyclub.com for showtimes and updates. For MCTV, I'm Samantha Hensley.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us in our MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Kym Helton.
And I'm Trevor Miller. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.